So this module, we attempt to answer the question if someone asks whether feng shui is it scientifically proven or not. All right. So I can tell you one thing lah. Things that are not proven by science doesn't mean it's not there lah. Okay. I think for those that follow me long enough, when we learn I Ching, right, we know that in this world there is something that's observable, there's something that's unobservable. So those part, okay, those part that's unobservable, meaning it's not scientifically proven by science yet, doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just that it's not been observed. There's no way to go and measure, no way to go and observe that it's already there. For example, last time before Wi-Fi was, even invented, discovered or invented, nobody would ever imagine that we can download a PDF file from nowhere. You can't see that, it's not observable, but it can be done. All right, so until science proven that it can be done, then everybody believe there's something called Wi-Fi. All right, same thing with feng shui lah. So don't prejudge lah. Like I say, learn with a growth mindset lah. Okay, let's talk about this. Now, Albert Einstein said this: look deep into nature or bracket universe, and you will understand everything better, which is very, very true. This statement, I really 100% agree. Whether you want to learn about feng shui, whether you want to learn about divination, whether you want to learn about life, you look at nature. Okay, because we are part of nature, and nature is part of the universe, and then therefore how universe behaves is how we should behave. So we want to be aligned, 天人合一啦. We want to be aligned to the universe. Okay, so really from today onward, if you have not been observing nature, how nature and universe behave, start observing. And how to observe is to look at this book called I Ching. Alright, I Ching, in short, is an ancient science of nature lah. So you may call this I Ching is a science, a Chinese science, and this science is talking all about nature. Okay, the universal principles, how nature behave, and things like that. So I Ching dated from over 7,000 years ago. Wow, 7,000 years ago, and it is considered one of the world's oldest book. And I think in some part of China they call it 无字天书 无字means no wordings book. Because from the earliest version of I Ching is all in symbol. Okay, it's all in symbol called hexagram and trigram, right? In symbol. There's no wordings because back then, 7,000 years ago, there's no language at all, no Chinese character. So it's called 无字天书. Okay, now I Ching, although it's symbols, it captures the essence of nature and the universe, and it provides a link between nature and man. And the building block in I Ching or in this universe is actually yin yang and the 5 elements. That means whatever metaphysics topic that you're going to learn, Chinese metaphysics, please master the yin yang and the 5 elements first. Okay, now I know yin yang and 5 elements seems to very easy to master and remember, but there are actually a lot of things that we can learn from purely just yin yang and the 5 elements. Okay, so a lot of books out there, they just give you the very surface information, which I think if you really want to learn about nature, learn about yin yang first. Okay, I can talk about yin yang one full day or even 2 full day, and I still cannot finish talking about yin yang. Same thing with 5 elements. Okay, but for the purpose of this home frequency tuning program, I'll just pull out all the relevant part and then show it to you, impart to you, and then good enough for us to proceed on to the next higher level in home frequency tuning. Okay, so next, if you want to learn I Ching, remember this: you must learn or remember at all time to apply the 3 pillars of I Ching principles. Okay, so I'll talk about these 3 pillars of principles later on. Right? So if you read up I Ching classic text, there's this one phrase called 刚柔相磨，八卦相当. Anybody know what this means? Type in the chat box. Anybody know how to interpret these 8 characters here. 刚柔相磨，八卦相当。Okay, it's fine. 刚柔 means this one 刚柔means 阴阳。Okay, 阴阳。刚 means 阳啦，柔 means 阴啦。So 阴阳相磨 it means this yin and yang, these are 2 forces they always rub against each other. Okay, rub against each other. In 道德经 they call it as 道冲, which is a separate thing lah. But in 道德经 they call it as 道冲So remember this, these 2 forces always rub against each other. 刚柔相磨 or 阴阳相磨And then once they rub they created this 八卦. But yin yang, when they rub against each other, they will have another yin yang that give birth. You know, 太极生两仪，两仪成四象，四象生八卦. All these evolvement are because yin and yang rub against each other constantly. Okay, and then with this 八卦, right? Again, 八卦means a 3-line trigram. They again bang against each other. So something is like this It's like this picture here this ball. Okay, they bang against each other, and when they bang against each other, a new thing is being evolved. A new thing is being evolved, and because of this banging against each other, therefore the whole universe, everything in this universe is being created or evolved. I would say not say created, but it's evolved Okay, so basically, loosely translated, 刚柔相磨，八卦相当 means everything is vibration. Vibration means it's always, either rub against each other or bang against each other, whichever lah. But because of this action, there's this vibration. So when we talk about vibration, then that's where frequency comes in. So according to Albert Einstein, everything in life is vibration. It's the same as what I Ching says. This one, 刚柔相磨，八卦相当. So everything in life is vibration. So that means if we want to learn physics, it is very, very science. If you learn about Feng Shui, divination, anything metaphysics, if you learn it from the angle of vibrations, everything seems to be very clear suddenly. Okay, I just share with you a little bit of my past experience. I've been learning metaphysics for since I was about 20 plus. Right, so for the longest time, the more I learn, the more confused I get lah. Okay, until I actually lose confidence in myself at some point in time. That's because I did not learn it from bottom up. I take shortcut lah. Straight go into 八宅, straight go into 玄空 facing. Then although the teacher teach us 阴阳五行, they just teach the surface or things like that. So because I don't have the fundamental, the building block fundamental, a lot of things doesn't seem to connect. I'm not sure anyone had this experience before. Certain things didn't seem to connect. And then when you go and learn different system, worse. Different system contradict with each other. So that makes things worse. Okay, so until a point, really almost wanted to give up. But luckily, I found my mentor, and my mentor really, give me a good wake-up call. Say that, hey, you go back and learn from the bottom up. Means what to learn? You learn I Ching first. Basically means you go and observe the nature. Right? So I relearn everything from scratch all the way up. And then finally, when your fundamental is correct already, you know that everything is vibration. And when you look at I Ching Feng Shui again, everything seems so different all of a sudden. It seems so clear. So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to share with you this so-called shortcut to learn metaphysics. Okay? So whether it is I'm using the word vibration, frequency, energy, or ultimately this word qi, it means the same thing. Okay? It means the same thing. So how often a vibration occurs is called its frequency. Alright? So if this is vibration, if you look at this left-hand side, this one is called low frequency. Whereas this one, a lot of occurrence one, this is called high frequency. Okay, so you have high frequency, low frequency, and then frequency is measured in terms of hertz. This is a bit science already. Alright, because this module is talking about trying to prove whether it is scientifically based or not, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about science, but not too much. So therefore, if you put it across as a spectrum, It starts from low frequency and then getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So that means the low frequency part is the yin part. The higher frequency part is the yang part. So the higher frequency means the higher energy, means more qi. The lower frequency means lower energy and therefore less qi. Okay, it's more yin actually. I'll not say less qi, I would say this qi is more yin qi. Okay, forget about the word less or more qi. Forget about the word more or the less. It just means that if it's higher energy, higher frequency, then this qi is more yang. So if it's formed as a spectrum, it goes like this. Sorry, my line is not straight. Okay, so yin qi, yang qi is a spectrum. Okay, it's a spectrum. And then if you look back at another a phrase in the classic text, there is this phrase called 同气相求. Now, 同气相求, loosely translated, it means vibration. Let's say qi and vibration, it means the same thing. So vibration of similar frequency tends to band together. It's just like radio station. If you want to listen to 933, you have to tune the frequency very close to 933 before you can listen to the music broadcasted by 933. If you tune to 955, you will never listen into 933 music because it's different frequency band. So therefore, same thing even in real life. Those who stay around Bukit Timah area, are they the poorer people or the richer people? I mean, I think you know the answer lah. It's basically same thing lah. Vibration of similar frequency tend to band together. That's why people form community, society, club, association, and things like that, because they are having a similar frequency. Therefore, they band together. What this implies to us in terms of feng shui is this: because similar frequency tends to come together, it means you are what you attract. Okay, I'm coming to the gist of feng shui, and what does all this vibration means to us is that you are what you attract, and you are what you are attracted to. It goes both ways. So that's now we talk about home frequency tuning as in inspecting the environment and how it affects the occupants. At the same time, is how the occupants affect the environment. It works both ways. Okay, so there's a quick tips here. Because we know this principle already, this universal principle is that 同气相求. We don't want to fall into the trap of accidental attraction. Once we know this, we don't want to create this kind of accidental attraction whereby we are attracting all the so-called undesirable things to show up in our life. Now, how can we avoid that? We'll talk about that more in details later on in the next modules, next few modules. Okay, so remember this. So once you understand this, let me ask you a question. Type in the chat box if you can, your opinion and your answer as well. Now, if you want to shift house, okay, if you want to shift house and you go and naturally go and do house hunting, do you think your house feng shui, because you shift house, your house feng shui will change? Type in the chat box. So my question, do you think that by shifting house, your house feng shui will change? Alan said no. So the house won't change if the feng shui won't change that much, even though you shift house. So Darren said chances are low. Okay, good. Mary say have to change own vibration to get better frequency. Thank you, Mary. Okay, thank you, Mary. Connie said no, you will find back the house of your own vibration. Very good. Very good. Yeah, so based on this logic means if you're thinking of changing your feng shui by just shifting house, all right, this is a fallacy. Okay, I repeat again. If you think that you can change your feng shui by just shifting house, this is a fallacy. So Mary is correct. Mary say you have to change your own vibration to get better frequency house. Why this is so is because vibration of similar frequency tend to band together because of whatever frequency you already have right now. If you naturally go out there to do your house hunting, you will be naturally attracted to another unit having a similar feng shui like your current one. And once you see that unit, you felt there's an affinity with that unit, and therefore you go and buy it. And then when you go and buy it, then that's it. You know, you lock in that unit, that payment, whatever. That's it. You're going to stay there for another at least 5 years. Something like this. So feng shui won't change that much because you'll be attracted to another unit of having similar frequency of as your current one. Now,